Hey, what's up, guys? It's James Dakota White here, back at it again with another video. I haven't made a video in like a week or so, so I'm trying to get back on track. I've been going through a lot lately with just everything. School, I got midterms this week, so it's kind of difficult for me to even get my shit up because yeah, it's a half a day, but like after I get home, I always fall asleep, and I've been busy with just hanging out and chilling. But anyway, this video is going to be my coming out video. My coming out video is nothing special. It's nothing like drastic. Like, it's not nothing like that needs to be really discussed. But I kind of wanted to make this video for anybody that hasn't came out yet or is suffering or is going through a hard time with coming out. So I'll go through the logistics and I'll start from the very beginning. So I was around 4 years old when I got adopted, and back then, I kind of just did what everybody asked me to, or I kind of just wore what they gave me, whatever, because I didn't really know. I wasn't really that kind of person to be really discovering at 4 years old. I don't really know who I was at that age, but my mom would make me wear dresses and everything like that, and I was like, okay, whatever, blah blah blah. Then I started to get older, around I don't even know, around 6, 7, and that's when you could tell that I was a tomboy, that I was going through that tomboy stage. Never really liked wearing dresses. If my mom put me in a dress, I would always try to take it off, always yell at her, we always used to fight about it, never going out in public wearing a dress, never really going into the girls section, but I did it because I didn't want my mom to I didn't want my mom to get embarrassed of me, so I would just do it because that's what I thought it was. A girl has to dress like that and a boy has to dress like that, and there's nothing else, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know what transgender was or lesbian or anything was like that at that age. But you could tell that I was a tomboy just by the way I acted. I was always outside hanging with the boys, never really had girlfriends, never really hang out with the girls until I was older. But anyway, so 6, 7, you could start to tell that I was a tomboy or whatever. And just leading up to when I was about 9, that's when I went through the phase of getting really bullied, and I went to Catholic school for 4 years. So in Catholic school, girls have to dress in skirts and guys have to dress in pants or whatever. So for me, I always had to dress in skirts, and it used to make me mad because I used to hate dressing like a girl. So that kind of forced me to wear girl clothes and be typically a girl, whatever, or feel like I had to do it because that's what they wanted me to. So I was always forced into, dressing like a girl. But back then I had braids, and so you can't really tell that I was going through the phase. And so I went to Catholic school, 3rd grade to 6th grade, and 6th grade is when I started to have feelings for girls, and I didn't know why, because I saw this girl one day. I just got moved to that school, whatever, because I moved a lot when I was younger. And I just got moved to that school, so, I went to school for the first day, and I saw this girl, and I was like, oh my god, why do I have these feelings? And every day I would go in, and see her, and I'd be like, oh, blah, 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 why am I having feelings for girls? And mind you this, I didn't identify as a guy yet. So I was like, a girl's not supposed to like girls, so why do I feel like this? And so I just pushed my feeling aside. I didn't tell anybody. And I didn't tell her I liked her until the 2nd week before school ended. So I told her that I liked her, and she completely cut me off. She didn't talk to me. She told everybody that I was basically not disgusting, but I was basically don't talk to me because I'm weird and everything like that, and I like girls or whatever. And at the time, it was 2013, 2012, so it's not really known as now, but it was common, you know what I mean? But not at that age, not everybody was coming out as lesbian, and also I went to Catholic school, so mind you, this not everybody's open to the idea because Catholic people, Christian, beliefs. So they stopped talking to me, so I switched schools and went to public school in 7th grade. I came out as lesbian right off the bat, put it on my Instagram, I was like lesbian, blah blah blah. Your bio, whatever. Yeah, I put it in my bio, and I didn't really have a lot of people's Instagrams because I just moved to that school. But I made a few friends, and I told this one girl, not naming any names, but I told this one girl, and she outed me to the whole school, to her friends, and then people talk. So people started figuring it out, and I went to lunch one day, and people after lunch, people just came up to me, and my best friend came up to me and was like, "Is it true?" And I said, "Is what true?" And they were like, "Do you like girls?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I didn't deny it because it's already on my Instagram. I was gonna deny the fact that I like girls. Cause mind you, this I didn't know that being lesbian was supposedly not normal. Cause that's just how I identified. You know what I mean? I just thought I like who I like. But then I realized that it wasn't common and that I not shouldn't feel that way, but it wasn't something that a lot of people felt. But I thought that's the way everybody felt. So I got basically added to my school, and I didn't get to tell my best friend, so that kind of sucked, you know what I mean? Because I didn't really get to come out officially, but I think that helped me just so people know and I can get it over with. But that's not a way you should come out. Come out when you're ready and come out when you feel like it's the right time. But my school is very accepting, so I didn't really get bullied for it. But people just had a lot of questions, and I'd rather them have questions than them just harassing me about it. So 8th grade came along. Everybody knew I was lesbian. I was like the only openly lesbian girl. There's probably a lot of bi people, but I was the only one that actually was real. You could tell. Once you walk past me, you're like, oh, it's either a dude or she's lesbian. So yeah, people already knew the way I just everything, you know what I mean? So a lot of people thought I was a guy at first. They would ask me, they would be like, oh, are you a guy? And I'd be like, no, because at the time I didn't know. And I'd be like, no, I'm a girl, blah blah blah. But you could tell it was coming that I was gonna come out as trans, or I was just very butch, you know what I mean? But so 8th grade passed. I graduated from middle school, and then I went into 9th grade. 9th grade was a very big year for me because this is where I was trying to figure myself out, whether I should, I didn't really know who I was, I still identified as a lesbian or whatever, and people already knew. Everybody was very comfortable with me. Everybody knew me. I grew up with the people after going to school with them for 4 years. And so everybody knew that I was lesbian or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I had a lot of good friends, and I started dating this girl or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. Things happened. But there was more than just things happening. It was with myself. I would think to myself, why do I feel I always felt like I wasn't truly a girl. I always would be like, I don't like that my name was my name. I didn't like the way I looked. I started wearing binders in 9th grade, even before I identified as a male. I started wearing binders because I hated my chest. I already knew I hated my chest. When I was younger, I used to love walking around just with no shirts on, because when you're younger, you have a flat chest. So I used to just walk around the house with no shirt on, and those are signs, you know what I mean? But I didn't know until this year. But in 9th grade, I was just questioning, I don't feel like I'm in the right body. I didn't really like my chest, my voice, and just I started to feel uncomfortable, being around people, and I got really depressed at that time. And so I kind of just was shying away because I didn't want it. It took me a long time to admit that I was trans, just because it's not something that you particularly want to admit, because at the time, in my school, there's not a lot of trans people at all. I don't even think there is. There's one trans person in my school, I think, that I know of personally, and besides that, I don't really know a lot of trans people in my school. Not a lot of lesbians or any LGBT people. Oh my God, LGBT people in my school. But That was a tongue twister. But I don't really know a lot of people that are LGBT in my school. But we do have an LGBT pride club in our school though. But I just never joined it. I should join it. But yeah. So I was going through a lot with that, and it was very difficult for me because I was like, like I don't want to come out, and I was so scared that people were gonna judge me because this is my first time coming out by myself, because last time I got outed. So I was like, this is going to be difficult. And I wasn't even worried about my mom, what my mom was going to say, because my mom's very accepting. Like, she accepts me. But I was just worried about how I felt inside. Like, it's not about the people. It's just about how I felt, because I wasn't really sure that I really wanted to. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just a phase, so you have to be really sure. But at this time, I knew I was sure because I would tell one of my friends, I was like, oh, I don't want to be called a girl anymore. I want to be called a guy. And every time somebody would call me a guy, I would feel so good. Also, last year, if I went into the girls' bathroom, the teachers would chase me out of there and be like, oh, why are you in here? This is the girls' restroom. And I'd have to tell them that I'm not a guy, I'm a girl. And so I already look like a guy. So, it was kind of like, I never even felt comfortable in the girls' bathroom to begin with. So for me, it was like, it wasn't a big deal that I was transitioning because I already felt male, you know what I mean? I already looked like a male. Everybody thought I was male until I told them my name. I'm not telling you my name just because it makes me uncomfortable right now. But I'll probably make a video on why I changed my name and how I changed my name. I didn't get it legally changed yet, but I'm working on that. So, the first person I told was actually my girlfriend. I went to her house one day, and I was like, I gotta tell you something. And she was like, what? She thought it was gonna be something like I'm moving or something like that. I don't know. And I was like, I gotta tell you something. And I could not say the words. Like, I could not get the words out, only because this is my first time coming out to somebody, like, face to face. And I was nervous about, like, what she would say and everything like that. She's very accepting, so I don't know why I was so scared. I think it was just because, it's a very big topic and it's a very big issue. Personally, just because it involves you individually and how you feel. So I told her, and well, I didn't actually tell her. I was like, I gotta tell you something, and she's like, is it about you? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I think I know what it is, but I don't want to say it. And I was like, what do you think it is? And she's like, are you transgender? And I was like, yeah. And then I just broke out in tears. And she held me, and she told me everything was okay. And she's like, I already knew it's okay. Like, if that's what you want, then I can call you whatever you want. Just let me know when you're ready. And that was a big, big, big acceptance for me because it clarified that it clarified a lot of things for me personally. And it showed me that I can be accepted, you know what I mean? And so that was a very big, big thing for me. So after that, I kind of just, went a few weeks and, told my mom about it. And then, my mom was like, first my mom thought it was a joke or whatever. And so I told her a few weeks later again, and then she was like, oh, so you're really serious about this? And I was like, yeah, I already told everybody to call me by James. I told all my teachers to call me by James, and they do. I told on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see it says what like pronouns I go by, he, him, his, and just my counselors know. They give me a key to the bathroom for the gender neutral bathroom, so I don't have to use the male or female bathroom, which is really good for me. I've been working on deepening my voice. I don't know, like I got a packer, you know what I mean? I've been doing a lot of things. So for me, it was like a big step, but now that I came out as trans, like I feel so much better about myself. And now that I actually changed my name, not legally, but just changed my name in general, I can't see myself as who I used to be just because I feel like it was never me and I knew it wasn't. I just couldn't accept the fact. And that's a very big thing for us trans guys. We can't it's harder for some people. It's easy to accept because they already know. But when you're going through all the stages and when you're just going through it alone, it's very hard to accept yourself, especially from where you live. You know, I'm so lucky that everybody supports me and I have a good foundation, but some people don't, so it's even harder for them to accept themselves because people are bullying them and harassing them or making them feel uncomfortable. Like some people cannot use their pronouns because they just feel like it's not right, which is wrong because we should all be accepted for who we are. But I'm very fortunate for people to use my pronouns. Everybody calls me by he, him, James, JD because my name is James Dakota White. So they usually like slang, but everybody calls me by male pronouns. Sometimes they get it mixed up. Sometimes they call me he. Sometimes they call me she, but yeah, but that's okay. You know, people are gonna get it mixed up. But when I started cutting my hair, I cut my hair the beginning I cut my hair the middle of 7th grade. I used to have braids, like I told you earlier in the story, and I just couldn't handle the long hair anymore, so I cut it. When did I get guy? When did I get guy clothes? I always wore guy clothes, but I told my mom I can't do this anymore. Like I just told her, I said I can't do this anymore. I can't wear girl clothes anymore. It got to the point where I wouldn't even go into the girl section anymore. I wouldn't feel comfortable going into the girl section.